So this is a tutorial on how to change the screen of a Asus U56e BBL5. And basically we got the broken screen, and you just want to make sure you power your laptop off and remove the battery like so. And then the only tools you're going to need for this are two small screwdrivers. The flathead I'm using is a 5/64. The Phillips head I'm using is a size 0. I'll also be using a third one, which is a size 1, but that just really makes things a little easier. Really all you need is the size 0. But one Phillips head, one flathead. First thing you're going to do is take the flathead and remove 6 of the rubber screw covers. There is 4 up top, and the 2 other ones are plastic circles, and they are down on the bottom. Those are a little bit harder to remove, but they come out the same way. Just use a screwdriver and you should be able to get them out of there. Once they're removed, you take your screwdriver, Phillips head, and take out the 6 screws that you just uncovered. While you're doing it, you just want to be careful, because with this laptop you cannot push the screen completely horizontally. So if you put too much pressure on it, you will break the hinge, and then you'll have bigger problems. So you just want to be careful. Now, if you notice, there are other rubber mounts that look like screw covers. There are no screws underneath those. There's just 6. There's 4 at the top and 2 in the corners at the bottom. Once you have them screws removed, just want to start in the side. I like to start in the corner, work your way down, and then straight across, and just pulling it off. That's it. Set that aside for now. What you have here, you have mounting screws. 1, 2, and these ones are covered up by tape. So pop that tape off. 3 and 4. And that's when you want to take your screwdriver. These are the ones that you really need the size 0 for, because these are really small. The size 1 Phillips head will not fit these screws. However, the size 0 will, and the size 0 actually works for the bigger ones too. So you just want to take these screws off. Try not to drop them, because if you do, they would probably be pretty hard to find. Take them off. You want to be careful at this point. You're going to want to pop this off just a bit, just enough so it's coming out a little bit. Take it and set it flat down on your keyboard. And what you're watching out for is this connector right here. You don't want to mess with that cord at all, because that connector is very fragile, and you don't want to rip the wire off it. There's some tape on there. You undo the tape from this side, and you just pull it back very slow and disconnect it just like that. You take this, it's your old cracked screen, disregard that. As you can see, this connector is very small. This wire is very fragile. You want to be careful with that. Now you take your new screen, and hopefully you've purchased it from the site that's in the description. They seem to have the most reasonable price, and it came very quickly. Now what you want to do is you take your connector and connect that back up. Very carefully. You don't want to force that in. If there's any tension in it, reinsert it. Try to find the correct configuration, because if you put it in wrong, you're gonna have to get a new connector. You're gonna take it just like you flipped it down and flipped it upward. Now you just match it up with the prongs that was holding it in after you took out the screws. Same way the old one was held in, like that. Now these will have covers on it. I took the plastic cover off previously because the tape's on it, and the tape actually wraps around the back. So if you leave the cover on and push it up, you're gonna have to take it back off to get all the tape off. So I just took it off in advance. So I made sure I laid this down on my keyboard, and that way you don't scratch the new screen at all. So once you have that in and plugged in, all you gotta do is just put your screws back in. Once again, make sure you don't drop the screws like me, because you'll probably lose them. I'm getting lucky. And you're just 1, 2, 3, 3, and once you get these screws back in, just want to grab your cover again, place that on. Now at this point, I like to start from the sides and then go to the middle. You need to be a little easier and push the bottom in. Now if you want to, you can put your battery back in and turn it on just to make sure it's going to work before you put all these back together, just to make sure you've done everything correctly. But I'm pretty sure I did. So we're gonna put these back in very quickly. Same thing, 2 in the bottom, you got 6 up top. Once again, you want to make sure that when you're putting these in, you hold the back of the screen, because you don't want to break that hinge. Once you have those back in, you're going to want to just take these rubbers, and they have an adhesive on the back of them, and they're going to stick right back on there the way they were. And you just want to cover them up. So once you have all those back on there, all you gotta do, take it, put your battery back into your laptop, and there you go. Screen's fixed, and you got it a lot cheaper than you would have, and you did your